for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with the approval of the agenda. Richard made a motion to approve the agenda. Logan seconds the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right, meeting minutes for May 13th, 2025. Give you a minute to read through it. No corrections to it. Need a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion by George.
Seconded.
Logan seconds the motion by George. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Are there any conflicts of interest? No conflicts, okay. Are there any public comments? Did everybody sign in? Okay. We have a public comment by Brooke. You want to wait till your time on the agenda? All right, no public comments this time. We'll move on to the Board of Adjustments. That requires a motion to go into Board of Adjustments, correct?
Yeah, that's your turn.
Okay. Motion to Board of Adjustments.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion by Dan to move to Board of Adjustments with Richard second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So we have variance for Tim and Brooke Melhoff to place a house less than 150 feet from the center of right of way. Why don't we let Brooke do her public comment? Would that be appropriate? I believe you all got a letter or something on this?
Yeah.
See what tab is that under, Mel? Just right there behind the agenda, or the units from last month. Go ahead, Brooke.
Oh, it's in
I wasn't
your
gonna say much, it's
Okay.
just, you look at the map.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, just let me know.
Does anybody have any questions for Brooke? Understand what's going on?
It won't create any snow issues. Yeah, I thought for sure we could get it tougher on it.
It's kind of in a location where it doesn't bother anybody else. They're the only ones that are gonna have to put up with anything.
Yeah.
Is there much for traffic on the road?
That's nothing really.
And the road technically doesn't even get close enough to the house to be within the 150
It's a
feet.
dead end.
It just turns into a grass section line. So. I guess,
Motion to approve it?
there we go.
Second.
You got a motion from George to approve the variance 25B01, and a second by Dan. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, congratulations. adjustments.
Motion to move out then?
Dan, makes a motion to move out,
Second.
second by Logan. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. New business. We got a data center discussion. Let's see what we got. So the ordinance passed, what other topics do we have there?
Just kind of put it on if anybody had
Any questions?
to say on it, yeah.
Okay. Probably nothing really to go over. So after it passed the second reading, what is there, a 20-day limit of statute?
Well, there's 20 days after for it to be fully,
In effect, and then they can apply for a,
and then there's, so August 5th is the date that the moratorium ends, is what you had told me, so.
you know,
So that would be 20 days from today, basically, but they have not come in my office at all.
okay.
They haven't applied for anything. so-
Okay. For the conditional use permit,
Right.
so. Okay, and then airport, what was that on there for?
George, did you wanna,
Well, the main reason is Eric told me that, they should be listed in the zoning board to be able to apply for grant money down the road
Listed in the.
into the zoning, but like I said, our book is done right now, so we're gonna have, well, he had sent it to Mr. Huffman, and Mr. Huffman never continued with it.
Okay, so we need to get on Austin a little bit.
Well, like I told him, I think what we're gonna do is postpone it, say until our next meeting.
Okay.
That way Eric can, maybe, did he get you that,
when you say Eric, you mean Eric Odenbach?
Eric
correct?
Odenbach, excuse me.
Okay.
Did he get you some information? Oh, see, he was gonna get Pier to get us an update on what they felt should be in the variance.
Okay.
And so I thought, there's no sense really doing anything until we get from Pier to know where we're.
Yep.
And then we can do it as an app, basically, into the
Yep.
zoning board, not going direct into it.
Okay.
So it's just, I wanted on the notice
Okay.
that, it would be coming up in, say, one of the next, meetings.
Sure.
So until he gets the information, there's no sense us really discussing or doing anything on it. So that's kind of the reason I had him bring it, put it on. I thought if we got the information, we would be able to look at it, cause, we wouldn't have enough time to act on it anyway, but at least we'd have some time on it.
Yeah.
And so now I think we'll just wait, and if he gets him some information, he can mail it out to us, or email it to us, and we can go from there. At the next, say, variance, it isn't that it's gotta be, right now or anything like that, so.
Mhm.
uh,
Well, that jogged my memory a little bit back to the data center. There was a couple of questions that came up during the reading. It was stated by the Bill Connors that they're using a food grade coolant. We don't, in our ordinance that was drafted, require that, but it was asked by another member of the community that maybe it should be listed somehow. Or at some point, maybe it can't be in the ordinance, but we need to not miss a step in the process. So like, in the conditional use permit, that'd be a condition of the use.
That'd be appropriate time to put it in.
And then also, there was a question about the electrical outage and penalties that follow, and I haven't done any research to elaborate on that anymore either, but.
Well, it's pretty hard to dictate brownout, and put that cover in there, because if we get an ice storm, we'd have a brownout
Yeah.
or a blackout,
Yeah.
and that wouldn't have nothing to do they would be shut down, they'd be running their generators, so it wouldn't have any effect on us any.
It would have to be proven that in case by case that they caused it,
Yeah,
so anyways, those were a couple of things that were brought up,
but that would be covered under the PUC.
yeah.
So really, there's no sense of us including that in, because the PUC has already got it there.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna,
You don't have any authority on it.
nope. So we're
I
kind
know
of,
just a couple things that brought up.
and the food grade deal would be about the same principle. PUC would have control of the product on it. So that kind of limits, what we're gonna be able to do with that.
Well, I guess we just stay vigilant if there's
Well, I mean,
anybody getting out of line, we gotta speak up too.
it doesn't hurt to mention it,
Yeah.
but not to, non-action taken. You know, I think would be the best way to handle it. But, and the same way like the airport deal, until we get more information on it, I would just like to leave it as a, you know, open. And then, once we get it, we can study it and then say, there'll be another variance coming up anyway, someplace down the road here. And then we can add it in at that time, if that's all right.
You do that, but you have to change the ordinance to change the word.
Well,
It's not an ordinance, you can't.
well, see, there's a piece in there, Ian Hunter talked a little bit about, you know, on the airport, or airplane.
Airport, I'm talking about, you know, on the data center.
Oh,
Airport, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about, but the data center, we can't, she put an add any of the variance.
No. that would have to be done by the commissioners and they'd have to get approved by PUC. So we're basically out in left field.
Richard, what question did you just ask him? What, I didn't hear it. What did you just ask him?
Well, we can't, you know, we can't do anything with it anyway, we can't do anything with it, it has to be in the ordinance before we can change the variance. We can't add this to the variance, this has to be, it's already stated in the ordinance, we can't add anything unless we amend the ordinance.
Okay.
And we have no authority on that anyway,
Okay.
as zoning board.
Okay.
Okay, then on to the comprehensive plan. So, couple of things from the last meeting. South Dakota law 11.211 states that, this is verbatim, not word for word, but it states clearly about the planning commission being directed to prepare and to cause to prepare a comp plan. So it is up to the planning and zoning to come up with a new comprehensive plan. I think that was your question or
Well, thing is,
concern.
yeah, and commissioners had a hearing on it, right?
Not on the comp plan.
Well, that was
Okay.
just to get the date
Okay.
Oh.
that
Okay.
date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
okay, go.
revise it,
To bring it up to date, basically.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, Eric, what day was that? Like June 16th, whatever, don't matter. He reached out to me, actually I reached out to him and we put together a date where Logan, myself, and Neil Woolhall, being a new member to the boards, met with him and kind of went over some administrative rules. During that time, he gave me this copy of Edmonds County's updated plan. They worked on it and it was made effective on April 19th, 2022. And so I read through it. Dan, I believe, was the one that had requested we get a copy to look at and kind of see what we like or don't like about it. So I do have that. Questions? So,
No, I just wanna see examples, just to make it easier.
yeah. And so then there's, in the very back, there's a section, objectives. And in there, it doesn't say anything about data centers being a part of Edmonds County's future, but we could say, we expect to have.
That was before the other one.
Yeah, true, very true. Yeah, it's 2 years old already, so, and Eric confirmed that that would be a section that would potentially be where we should look at putting some work in.
Has he wrote for other counties? Just that one there?
Well, I don't know how many, but he did that one with them, so.
And that's a win.
22.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay.
You know, 'cause that doesn't have, that's a lot.
I didn't.
That's a lot more broad than like our actual ordinance and stuff.
Yeah. Right there, this page showing the actions, you know, first one, planning commission, public hearing, then. So it's gotta come through us and then go to the commissioners, just normal procedure.
And Jordan. You didn't get together with Austin on this, did you?
No, I haven't got.
So this will be on their website, I can pull up Edmonds.
I would, yeah, I think that'd be the easiest way for everybody to get their eyes on it.
This is not that, no, it's not that different from our old one.
It's just a matter of updating some of the stats on it and then some of the fine print.
There's much you can change.
And, you know, look at that, if they did the same thing that happened 25 years ago, or 2 years ago.
Well, the thing is.
They have that end date on it,
Yeah.
and so,
Well, the only thing is, I was wondering, like, for example, the population exchange, you know, from 10 years ago or 20 years ago until current, that information, you'd almost have to get from Eric, I would think, legit.
I guess I don't know where you get it exactly, but yeah, it has to be
That's why I was just wondering
updated.
if some of that stuff would be better brought, you know, by Eric, you know.
Well, he'll be brought in on it,
Yeah.
help us probably more than he needs to,
Well,
you know, as much as he needs to.
that's what I was just kinda wondering, time-wise, it might be quicker to have him,
Yeah.
outline it basically and bring it up to date, and then we can approve it.
He usually tries to watch most of our meetings, so he'll, and I'll probably talk.
I just have a
I
question.
believe, Stan Station, please.
Mary Callis, McPherson County, you said that this is on the website. Did you mean Edmonds website or McPherson's website?
Well, Edmonds County's updated, comprehensive plan should be on Edmonds County
Okay,
website.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem,
Yep.
thank you.
If not, I'll make a copy.
Cause otherwise it'd be like housing and things like that, you know, for the county would almost be better getting it from him than.
Well, I kind of forget what he said, Logan. We can come up with this plan however we see fit.
Yep,
Basically, how much money do we wanna throw at it?
yep, because we could make it, you know, really update and change a lot of things on it, or, you know.
And it's all gonna come with a big deal of
general plan.
expense.
You know,
So,
it'd be like a mission statement
yeah,
on the same principle.
Because we did, we talked about, that's gonna be, you know, you don't wanna get in conflict of that and this. You know, we don't wanna have a lot of numbers or anything in there
yeah.
in case you would try to change something in the zoning ordinance.
bunch of engineers and
Well,
educated folks to
that's
take
why I
our
thought-
money to help make it Eric and whatever he needs for compensation, probably
mean,
more than,
If, he could take it from the other counties.
Yeah.
And he'd have it on his computer, he could make us a broad,
the quick changes.
right, where our county's expense would be a heck of a lot less, you know, cause if we're sitting here, Richard's gonna want to get paid right away.
Yeah, I know how it is.
Yeah, you know, so, we gotta watch him there.
That's all he's talked about since we got here this morning, is his paycheck.
Yeah, some guys can.
I thought he wanted to raise.
He does.
Some guys can get their paycheck out.
Okay.
No, I think we need to turn, get Eric to give us a, broad thing that he can look at it and change it.
Well, at your next commissioner meeting, maybe it'd be a good time to you, to bring it up and then maybe approach Eric at the meeting and see if he'd be willing to update it.
Yeah,
You know, that would simplify it.
he already said that he would
Yeah.
update it.
You need a motion for that or anything?
Should we read through Edmonds County first, or do you, or
Well,
don't we need to?
No,
You should read through it. We should
yeah, but
all,
we could get
read the
Eric,
words.
we could get Eric to do it now, instead of waiting for us to read it then tell him. Then we can compare the two.
and true, it doesn't,
Okay.
reading Edmonds County's words, it's just,
Still, in the county.
Okay.
yeah, it's a little irrelevant, but it gets you thinking about, well, what could we add? What don't we need? Mostly what can we add to
Right.
bring it up to date from where they were at, that's relevant to us. And
You'd be better off to compare their old one.
Yeah, I just don't want Eric to have to do it like 4 or 5 or 6 times.
Well-
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
sure,
I don't think we'd have to. I mean,
Okay. I'm good with that. That's what we're.
I'll talk with Eric some more and he'll help us out.
I think that would save time and money, and then Richard maybe could push you know, for that raise.
One thing that Eric brought up in that meeting was, kind of a map that he said you developed. It was,
Oh, it then like around all like your
setbacks.
setbacks from like all your houses.
I drew a map, took a map, and I put a 1.5 mile setback and a 2 mile setback, and a mile, I think, 1 mile and a 2 mile. And it's, it's.
I have it,
Okay,
it's in our office.
every homestead we do.
And I think he showed us Edmonds counties.
They have one at, was that a mile?
Yeah, they had a couple overlays. And it was kind of interesting to see
Very.
what available land is out there once you start setting.
Right, and
This
Jeff
was a
across
mile and 2 miles.
there. I think so, yeah.
How hard would it be to do that again?
Well, it's already done.
It's
Yeah.
already done.
And,
He's got it.
okay, and that's updated enough, how long ago was that?
The only one we have now is where Brook is gonna move. One of the new ones,
Okay,
and there's probably some closed down too, some homesteads.
well, that's kind of what I was wondering. How long ago did you do it?
2 years ago.
All right.
It's not that long ago, yeah.
Yeah, there hasn't been that
It's
many.
just, it's just not a thrill to do it again. 'Cause
Well, I can imagine.
2 maps, 2 1. But I mean, it's not much to update, because there haven't been many new homesteads or any old ones closed down.
Yeah,
And I think the commission even looked at it, make sure I had everybody in there. It's crude, I mean, it's not, it's exact, but it's close.
Yeah.
We're trying to prove that there was still room for, Summit to go through McPherson County without affecting that.
yep. That's what
And
brought it
it
on.
proved that.
Okay. But someone just doesn't want to go that route or what?
Well, through the hills. No one's living.
Okay, anything else on that? We'll move on to that approach ordinance. Glenn, do you wanna go ahead? Start? Or should I maybe? I guess at our June 3rd commissioners meeting, we put a moratorium on approaches because of a situation going on. And, are any of you aware of that?
No.
Okay, we had a situation with, Mr. Mack had, decided to add on to some approaches, existing approaches, and, prior to any type of an application, he added on, and there are multiple sizes, they're probably 60 to 80 feet, all the way up to 150 feet. And the way we had it set up before was in, I believe it was 2016, when Dakota Access Pipeline came through on the southwest corner of the county, we had adopted an application process with a 40-foot maximum top. And, there's discussion that this wasn't proper, it was the same process that we adopted, that like Spring County adopted the exact same thing at that time. Austin thought it would be I'm not sure if not legal is the right word, but he thought there should be ordinances in place to, control the approaches that are being built. So one thing Mr. Mack had said was that, you know, it'd be nice to have longer approaches so you could use them as a turnout, you know, for equipment if somebody comes down the road. I think in a situation like that, you're gonna end up with, legal issues, because it's not an actual turnout, it's not a design turnout. It'd be just an approach that somebody used, and liability might play a part on the county side. The, Brown County, I talked to Dirk, they also had a 40-foot maximum on their approaches with, if I understood it right, they'd apply for a variance to go to a 60, and that was the max, but they had to apply for a variance to show cause to go to a 60-foot, if I understood him right on all that. Spade County was at 40. I talked to the state, they haven't got back to me yet as far as to what the way it sounded, they have a 40, but then there's also what they allow for additional approaches and how many and all that, there's more to it. So I guess the thought was we need to put ordinance in place to, in a permit process, so that we have guidelines as far as what we're gonna allow people to do as far as building approaches. So,
And if I remember Austin correctly, his issue was that it should be a permit that goes through the zoning, planning and zoning, not just something that Glenn can issue at his leisure.
yeah,
So, that was kind of Austin's legal.
Take Glenn off the hook too, you know.
well,
Yep.
you know, it's pretty hard to say, well, you can have a 60-foot, you can have an 80-foot, you know, that isn't the right way to go about it. We have to have rules in place that we have guidelines that I can say, well, this is what we allow. And then also, they're not supposed to work within the right of way without permission or a permit process, some process to, give them permission to build within the right of way. Where right now, periodically I'll find people that go, oh, they build an approach, it isn't properly built, and then we have to address it.
How about for like culverts and that?
If they want, if it's, the way we've been doing it is we provide one access per half mile or per parcel. And that is, the county's been taking care of that. If they want additional, or if they wanna widen, then they have to cover that cost themselves. You know, cause we don't need, and the other thing too is I don't think we should allow, approaches, every 200 yards or every 100, it's not necessary. It's more to mow, it's more to maintain, depending on what you got culvert markers, you got, the back slope for snow removal, you gotta mow all that. Every approach we go over takes time, costs money.
The only thing is that, say if there's a farmstead and the son has built a house or the father a ways away, like less than a quarter mile.
Right.
Then he'd have to road into the other approach, so then they should be able to apply for a secondary approach.
Yeah, agreed. Farm sites, that's a different deal. We've got farm sites with 3 and 4 approaches.
Well, that's,
And not that I like it, but a lot of people tend to they build their facility so that they can use the county road system as their feed road.
Yep.
sometimes it gets to be a big mess, but they do that, and it's been happening forever. So, but no, if somebody's gonna build another home, they need another approach, different deal.
That'll be the same like, Ag Solutions out here, cause there you got two approaches that are less than 100 yards apart,
Yeah,
so now those are state, so they had to apply for a special permit for those.
Yep.
Through the state.
yeah.
But there again, it's like you said, the 40 footers.
And they've got their guidelines, they've got their
And then
maximum.
if you want them wider, then you have to.
Well, you have to show cause, and, one thing that did come, there was a comment made by one of our local landowners, farmer, that those wide approaches might sound nice, but it's gonna cause an accident. And I said, in what way? He said, well, think about it. He said, I know a lot of guys are gonna do it, they're gonna get moving with their semi, they can take it at an angle, they don't have to slow down to make that corner to get back out onto the road, they're not gonna look both ways like they should, and they're gonna pull out in front of somebody. And I thought, that was an interesting comment, it wasn't mine,
No,
it was, I'd ask the individual if I could use his name, I didn't, so I won't. But if if you wanna know, I could ask him, it was a really good comment, and I'm sure there's regulations governing how those approaches somewhere in engineering should be made.
well, the slope on them,
Slope is, yeah,
gotta be set.
yeah, and we had 4-to-1 slope on ours, I know the state's got their guidelines. But but the minute you start making them too big and you wanna call it a turnout, I think we got an issue.
Yeah.
I think that's when, we could get in a lot of trouble.
To the point, you have more ditches, just fill out the ditches, but
Yeah, may as well make them all flat.
Well, then you can farm it all the way to the road,
you can run right up the center of the road.
cause that's what's going on. Right?
Well, there's enough of that, yeah.
So can Eric Singer set us up with one of these?
You talk to Eric about it,
Well, we kind of brought it up a little bit, but I don't remember what he said.
Cause the legal part of it's gotta be wrote in there, and otherwise we gotta get Austin to see if it gets done, so I would say with Eric, we had,
Yeah, let's see if he's got one. Let's see if he's got one.
I'll check that, him on that, I don't
I'll
remember.
put you on that.
Who's you? Okay. You weren't pointing at me, were you?
What are you asking me?
Would we have to adopt it to this month?
I would think so.
Eventually, after it's done.
Yeah, it'll have to go through hearing process.
And I think it's the right way to do is have it with with the ordinances that they have to apply for a permit, has to be approved. They can't just say, this morning, I think I'll go build an approach today.
Oh,
Mike Hopkey, McPherson County. I have a little problem with, you guys taking it to Eric. We're already paying for a state's attorney. Is Eric an attorney?
no, he's not.
Okay, then I would say you gotta go with an attorney. If you're gonna write up
Well,
a ordinance.
I get it.
this is the first step, just to give an example. And then, yes, Austin's gonna have to look at it,
Well, I mean, why not have him do it?
because
You paying for it.
I think we need to, see what other counties have as far as their ordinances, to give us an idea what direction we wanna go. And then we still can have Austin do the legal side of it.
Okay?
I think
It doesn't hurt to do that
I think
research.
we'll move faster through the process if we do it here first.
Well,
That's what I have.
that's not the way it's supposed to be.
I know.
Well, I mean, either he gets it, get it from Eric or Allison gets it, he's gonna get it from Eric too.
It's gonna be the same.
Yeah, it's true, you can have Austin make a phone call.
Yeah, it's still gonna be the same process.
It's his job.
Well, the biggest thing is to find out what other ordinances are out there that we can build a good system that works for us.
The other day,
It's the best out of
So, 'cause there's gonna be a lot of different thoughts and ideas out there.
Or the other one.
What's that?
Things we never have
comments on? Okay, well, let's run through the building permits.
Gentlemen, done with me then?
I guess so, thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Well, so I'll get with Eric on, I'll talk to Austin.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably talk to Eric,
I would
because
say,
it would probably be quicker.
right,
Okay, so building permits. We've got one for Ronald Bornman, new house and garage. Boulder Hutterite Brethren Inc. are building a new shop. Bruce Vogel, is that how it's pronounced? Vogely, new shed. Mike Metler, new garage. Mike Mardian, a continuation of a building permit on an addition and a shop. If you want, you could try. Nick Callis is getting a new shop. Sam Shower, a new storage building. Tim Melhoff, a new house and a garage, so.
pretty good, property.
Yeah.
You can use both.
The Hutterite, is that gonna,
Yeah, right.
is that gonna be out by their cement plant, you know?
I can show you
Well,
guys, there's if you want.
I just thought you maybe knew off the top. You know,
It'll-
sure,
It'll be to the west, behind the cement plant, towards where the road.
okay, then it won't be out by the turkey barns.
Right, it'll be away from.
Okay.
So that's about it.
Hold on, when should
Oh,
we have our next?
the next meeting?
Probably before the next scheduled one or not, or is the next regularly scheduled one would be October 21st.
And you think we should have one prior to that? Because
Well,
of-
it seems like there's a lot that might need to be discussed if.
You know, I think we could have one when we find stuff in Eric,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
in Austin, and get this approach thing going, because that could be a 3-year item again.
So,
Well,
or
we can't
maybe
really
we
set
can,
that date at this time, because
Right.
it's an unknown. We can set the October 21st one,
Right.
and if something comes up, we'll
Have
call a meeting.
another, okay.
So October 21st at 9 AM. The next scheduled meeting. With that,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Logan made a motion to adjourn. Dan seconded that motion. At 9:43 is good enough. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.